So we're trying out a couple new things today. One, I hope it looks a lot better because I switched the camera on my phone, and even though the lighting isn't that great, I hope the quality of the camera is better. And two, I hope the quality of the audio is a lot better because my friend bought for me this very cool microphone. I'm still getting used to using it, but it sounds a lot better than recording off of the iPhone or off of my broken gamer headset that I used to use a lot. And every time that I have voice chats or video chats, then I start the conversation, if it's a new person, by asking if I sound okay, and they always say it sounds perfect. So yeah, at the end of my last video, I was talking about how I didn't know how to sound good because the iPhone microphone isn't that great, and then she watched that video and then she decided to buy it for me for my birthday, and I thought that was really thoughtful, so thank you very much. Shout out to my friend. Her name is Donut. The other day, I was looking for a blank journal so that I could write things, and when I was flipping through a lot of them, I realized that they were all the same. I had started new journals just to try to record how I was feeling and thinking and stuff like that, and whatever problems I was going through at the time. And then I realized that it's really hard for me to keep up with it. But one thing that was kind of easy to keep up with was making the weekly updates when I was in Japan, and of course, this isn't a weekly update kind of thing. Being back home, especially during lockdown, there isn't a ton going on. Even though there are things that I'm working on, these things are sort of secrets for me, and they take a long time. Reading through old journal entries was interesting because I got to see what my biggest problem was at the time and how stressful I thought it was. These problems that I look back on now that seem so small, I remember thinking were insurmountable. So I've become a lot busier lately, but not busy in the sense that I have a lot of obligations, more that I'm trying to invest the spare time that I have into things that I've always wanted to work on. So making these video entries is a lot easier to keep up with than trying to make daily journal entries or even weekly journal entries. There are still some times when I feel like there's something really important that I want to write down, and then I'll write that down. Sometimes it's hard to notice progress within yourself, so it'll be a little easier if I can just look back on things like this and say, wow, that's just how I used to be. So I shaved my head because I thought that it would make for a funny joke, but when it started to grow back in, I was feeling insecure. It's the reason why I was wearing a hat in my last video. But I decided that it would be better if I could look back and laugh at myself. I've always said that it's a lot easier to be comfortable where you are, if you know where you're going. And if I have a special event coming up or an interview, something where I have to look good, then I'll try to get a haircut, and I know that I'm gonna look fine one day in the future, so maybe I can just look back. The main purpose of this video was to thank my friend for giving me this microphone and then testing out some new editing skills, but there is something small that I've been working on, and I am going to do that now. So I've always wanted to learn keyboard, but I haven't ever really tried, and then I heard this song that it's not really that new, but then I barely heard it a couple months ago, and I thought that I really wanted to cover it, but then it didn't quite sound right on the guitar. So then I took to learning it, and it's been a couple of days. And as it turns out, it's also, it's really difficult. And all I have is the pre-chorus and the chorus. But here goes. I know, you know, we know you weren't down for forever, and it's fine. I know, you know, we know we weren't meant for each other, and it's fine. But if the world was ending, you'd come over, right? You'd come over and you'd stay the night. Would you love me for the hell of it? All our fears would be irrelevant. If the world was ending, you'd come over, right? The sky'd be falling while I hold you tight, and there wouldn't be a reason why we would even have to say goodbye. If the world was ending, you'd come over, right? Right. If the world was ending, you'd come over, right? Well, that's all I've got. If you haven't heard the song, go check it out. I'll put the link in the description.